I really don't want to do this. Because literally, a lot has been going on. Literally, and today is a day that I want to be great. Because my birthday's in 4 days, I don't want anything to ruin it. And yes, I survived my attempt, my second attempt, that is. But literally, I'm not sure how many of you guys could be to see this. No, none of those things I had did was a skit. Or was it fake? I literally had the hospital braces to prove it. What had led to that point was the harassment I was getting on this YouTube channel platform. And as somebody who creates fan fictions in a way to cope, I've been having my OC character got stolen from me and used against me. And there's people that's on this YouTube channel, especially one who has history of harassing people to the point it draw them out to the point where they end up into the hospital. And that person is Lady Fanell. So yeah. There's history of problems I had with her. One is when I was like 23 years old. And I was friends with a young cosplayer that literally had told me what Lady Fanell had did to her. And I had dealt with similar situations with Lady Fanell before I met Evara Nox Frostbane. Var was the first one being attacked by Lady Fanell and stuff like that. And then when I was just being myself on my favorite Snape cosplayer livestream so much that I love so much that I had literally followed when I was literally 13 years old. Yes, I'm a musically kid on my TikTok. I had followed that my favorite Snape cosplayer that's also a writer and she's also a teacher. And she had inspired me to become a cosplayer myself. I don't want to say her name on here because that's not who I am. But if you guys are a Snape fan, you guys would know who I'm talking about. You know. So yeah. She looks similar, just like Severus Snape himself. So yeah. So with the person I'm trying to tell you about, I'm not saying her name or anything because I am not like that. She was just a teenager girl. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it right, but she was she's a furry cosplayer. So I'm not gonna stay long in here, but I really do want to share my story without being discredited. You know, because I am trying to so hard not to have a trauma experience from what had happened in August. You know, I don't want to have hates get reopened again. You know, I don't want to go back to that situation. September 2nd now, I want this month to be good and happy and etc. If you know what I'm trying to say here. Because my birthday's in 4 days right now. And I just want to say that the person I was friends with that was a teenager and stuff like that, you know, she was like a furry cosplayer. I'm not sure how old she is now, you know, but there's one time that Lady Fanell had said that she hoped that one of her family members that was in the hospital has passed away. That's what Lady Fanell said to a little girl. And it's not a lie, it's not a fictional fairy tale story. This is a real thing because that same young girl had ended up in the same place where I had ended up, because that's how bad Lady Fanell is. Lady Fanell will literally cause somebody to the extinct where they can end up in the hospital. She did that a lot. She caused me my mental health. Like, she had caused me my mental health and stuff like that, you know, to the point where I was depressed when I was 23 years old. I was not even yet 24 years old. She went far to attack my OC character twice. So yeah. And on my YouTube channel, they're still at it by creating new accounts to attack me and the way I create my fan fiction and do what I love best, how I cope. I create my OC character when I was 17 years old. I've been working on her since I was 16. I've been trying to put her together, and when I was 17 years old, it was one of those dark times, to say the least. It was really one of those dark times when I was 17, because a lot of personal issues I was going through, especially being bullied at school and stuff like that, to the point where I had done my first attempt. Sorry I'm not saying hi to you guys, I still want to get my story over with before my brain forgets everything. So yeah. Like, literally, it's been a lot had went on from that time when I did my first attempt when I was 17 years old. And I survived that. And that's how my OC character, Julie Evans Snape Potter, was born. And I continue to work on that process all the way into the year of 2022. As you can see in my videos of the memory on this day, that shows that I was handwriting my OC character, and it wasn't really perfect, but I was doing a lot of research, doing what I gotta do, make sure the timeline is good and stuff. I've been using my favorite quote pen that I had ordered myself a long time ago to write my fan fiction stories and etc. Thanks for the likes, appreciate it. So yeah, I've been doing that since every single year. Passing day of my life from my beginning of my adulthood. Had been working on my OC character, and then during that same day, I started to become a cosplayer. You know, I started cosplaying my OC character, the second Potter child, the little sister of Harry Potter, the goddaughter of Severus Snape, who was raised by Severus Snape. You know, I've been working on her, doing what I do, which that makes me happy. That's how I had cope. That was healing my inner child self, because I put myself into that character of who I truly am, you know, and etc. The father type figure that I wish I had growing up in my life. Yeah, that's what had been doing all my life. You know, and I got fed up in August that I had to relive the same issue and drama of being attacked by Lady Fanell all over again. And what added from that more person, not just Lady Fanell, one of Evara's members as well, had also started the attack as well at the same time. You know, and it was getting too much in August. I was getting fed up of everything. It was getting overwhelming. I couldn't take it anymore. So I felt that the only way I could have peace was doing my second attempt. Is the way that you guys, or the people that's probably not watching this, would have just leave me alone. Because they had attacked my OC character that I worked so hard to create. I had felt the only way to have peace is erasing myself, since they want to erase my way of how I created my fanfiction. Because they had went after my OC character, the way that I create my fanfiction, gatekeep the things that I love doing, and what I love doing. And seriously, this is a bit of an emotional thing to speak about, to say the least. And I'm trying my best to not have reopen trauma right now, because what had happened was literally dramatic for me. And it's not an act, it's not a thing for likes, it's not nothing that you guys would think about. It's none of that. This is a true story that I'm trying to tell you guys about what had happened and what had gotten that drawn out thing, if you know what I mean. I'm doing my best to say it properly, because my sentence is not really good, because I never had good sentence speaking growing up. So yeah, sorry if my hands are shaking. As I tell you before, dramatic experience, and I'm trying to be my Gryffindor self to share it to you guys. So sorry if my phone is shaking, because my hand is shaking right now. So yeah. So, and what I already told you guys about, I'm not sure if you guys heard me, about what Lady Fanell had once did to a 14-year-old. Sorry if I get her age wrong that time, because I tell you before in my mind right now. So yeah. And I've been dealing with history with Lady Fanell issues since January 2024. That same day, and all the way, I think. Nah, it was just that same day. So yeah. I had dealt with history issues with Lady Fanell and her harassment. And I'm not doing this for likes or attention seeking. I just want to share with you guys what had got me to that point in August. Was because of Lady Fanell. Yes, Lady Fanell would tell you guys, oh, that's not true, this and that, blah, 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 etc. But every time she had been off her channel and stuff like that, she and SPN Queen, aka Random Fandom 67, had literally been on this account discrediting the way that I create my fan fiction and what I love doing and etc. And one time, I'm 24, I'm 25 years old, and the people that I had been surrounded by is older than I am. And literally, which they should really do know better, because they are like 6 years older than me, and one of them is 19 years older than I am. And they should really know better to just leave me be. But that never happened because they want to act like high schoolers. So I am trying so hard to say this story. And on this account, every time I post anything creativity, those same people, and especially Lady Fanell's people, like always come and discredit my rights on my own platform that I created, saying that this platform is not mine. This platform is YouTube, like saying that my account isn't mine. The account that I'm using right now. You know, that's been getting me stuttering. That is that's like discrediting my way of what I created. The account that I had since I was 16 years old. And this account is the account that I have when I was 16 years old. I created. You know, as you can tell by the date on the account when it was created on here. And as I said before, what had went on was the harassment I was getting and the people that was trying to silence my voice. Every time I speak up about anything, my videos get reported. The person who had threatened me with false legal action had only tell the part where that made her looks innocent, and the fact that she's 37 years old. And I am literally 25 years old, so I am not even yet close to their age. By the time I reach their age, it'll probably be for the next, I don't know how much years. And they will be in their 40s and 50s by the time I turn 37 years old. I am not at their age, to say the least. I don't harass people older than I am, especially ones who's around my mom's family member age. I don't do that. They're old adults older than I am. So yeah. So people saying that I am a bully, I am a harasser, I am a liar. Remember this. When they were a teenager, I was basically a kid, a baby. When they were babies. Not they were babies. When they were babies, I didn't exist yet, to say the least. So, yeah. And what had drawn me to the point of doing that second attempt was due to the hates I would receive and by Evara's member, you know, and Lady Fanell's people and etc. It's like living that same thing all over again. Yes, Lady Fanell had literally said to a young teenager who was a furry cosplayer that she hoped that her what you may call it family member passed away, which that literally did happen. You know, Lady Fanell had caused that to happen to the point she had drawn out that young girl to end up into the hospital. She had also made a similar thing happen to me as well. So yeah. The obsession that you probably see on her account is of me. And if you see my account, I don't have anything mentioning about Lady Fanell on my stuff. But if you see, and the only reason why she can get away with what she's doing because she can speak both Spanish and English to her people then. So yeah. She has histories of harassing people younger than she is. She had made it so far to the point where it had affected my life. And she continues to harass me on this channel. Every time I thought what had happened was gonna be a way for them to finally leave me alone. No. Because again, Book Arthur had started when I said that I'm going to continue using ChatGPT for my fanfiction, but not just to write for me. No. I've been ready to write my fanfiction since 2022. On September 1st. That's when I start writing. I never know anything about ChatGPT. I only used it to improve my fanfiction writing because I want my words to be making sense. And that's the only thing I use it for. I know I do not make money out of it because that's not me. It's not my rights to do that. And I would never in my life to do that. As someone who's a creative writer, and use her writativity skills to cope. And that's what I do. It's one of my coping mechanisms. Only thing I use that ChatGPT to do is to bring out my image to life. But during the year 2022, I didn't know that app existed. So all I did those days was just write my fanfiction, create my fanfiction, cosplay, write my fanfiction of every single chapters. The books that I have right now, I checked out that book from my library so many times, and that's Harry Potter books. So I checked out so many times to the point I can't even count how many times I checked out that book. Because I also shared videos of memories of books I checked out from the library. It's like nearly over 100 books I checked out when I was like in my teens. So yeah, during those days I read like 100 books, to say the least. You know. And I'm not lying. This is really true. I have memories of last year's stuff proven on my videos because I post every single thing. That's just me. So yeah. So with that part with Lady Fanell, I had history dealing with her and her obsession of harassing me. I used to be somebody who supported her account during her first account when her account got banned. You know, until she started listening to my attacker, which is the Maddox Army people. So During my favorite Snape cosplayers live stream during the year of January 2024, I had my hair surgery was in February. I don't remember what date, but I know it was in the year of February in 2024. So it's when when I had recently got diagnosed with umbilical hernia, so I had to go in for surgery on February. In February, I mean. So yeah, during that same timing, and when I was my favorite Snape cosplayer every Wednesday go live stream. So during that day on, I saw her dress up as Severus Snape. I was like in my head, ooh. I took the opportunity to roleplay as my OC character, which I had do that for years, and she never had a problem with it. The host never ever had a problem with it. She loved my roleplay. She said it herself. She loved seeing the roleplay in the comment section. So me, I was just doing what I always do, like being myself, being the Potterhead that I am. Just etc. Sorry, etc. If you know what I mean. Like I have a lot of things to prove that how I'm a big Potterhead, and literally. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of collection. One of them is the number 2000 broom, and you guys can see the Professor McGonagall costume there, and the Sorting Hat is on my TV. The blazer jacket, and I have the Huffpuff. What do I call the Huffpuff tie. I also have a lot of stuff I got from TikTok shop. It's like things for free samples, like the house flags and the Quidditch banners and stuff like that I have hang up on my wall. So yeah. And right now I'm wearing the Harry Potter Wizard Tournament pajamas. That I personalized my OC character's name on it in the back. So yeah. And as I'm trying to say here is the thing that had got me drawn out to the point in August was due to the reopening hit of Lady Fanell. That she had continued her stuff along with Evara's people. No, I do not hate people. And number one, I do not have hate in my heart. I literally do not, to say the least. The only people that hates people is Lady Fanell herself and Evara's group that hates people. I don't have hate in my heart. I never will. Seriously. I did a lot of nice things for people, and I don't normally know how to express my feelings in the way people normally do. Only way I express my feelings is by gift giving. I don't expect anything in return from anybody. But with me, I give gifts. I gave a gift to one person as an early birthday gift for her. And because she had mentioned that she wanted a snake blanket. So just me being the person who I am, highly remember it out of everybody else. I did something very nice by using Shannon and have them customize a snake blanket and have it sent to her. I didn't expect anything in return from anybody. I just did that because that's just who I am, and that's how I express my feelings. To show that how I truly care about somebody as someone who's a Virgo. So yeah, I'm more of a gift giver than to express my feelings to anybody. It's like a mixture of Severus Snape a little bit. You know, in a way. And I just to be honest, what I want for my birthday coming up in 4 days is to get my account back to the point where every single time I post something that I love doing, that's creativity, I don't end up getting people to discredit my rights on this platform that I had for like I don't know how many years now, but I created when I was 16 years old. I want to continue being on this platform like they never exist. I want to have this platform back to the point where I could feel safe and create my fanfiction of how I cope and what I love doing to just be happy, to say the least. Like, I don't want to continue being getting hate on, discredit on my way of creating my own fanfiction that I have loved doing. People gatekeep me, and then that they got away with creating their stuff and using the same thing I'm using, to say the least. While clearly they're also using ChatGPT too. But every time I use ChatGPT to do something wholesome and whole-warming, I get discredited on. With me, I'm gonna tell you this. Sorry, I'm gonna tell you this. What I use my ChatGPT for. I don't do anything inappropriate like using that. Severus Snape is like a cold-hearted father figure for my OC character. He had raised her, saved her, raised her. I am not going fully to that detail of my OC character, so yeah. And I just want to continue. Thanks, you too. I just want to continue and stuff like that to just have peace on this channel. I want to be able to create my fanfiction in peace. I wanted to go back to the place where I had this channel and create my fanfiction, my writing skills, and share with you guys that I care about, my subscribers. And just do that with no drama, no hate, nothing, because I don't do the inappropriate snapes. I don't do that. I am not that kind of person who likes those inappropriate kind of stuff that other people does. I don't do that. When it comes to my cosplay, my Snape, and the way I create my fanfictions, I don't go into those inappropriate kind of ways. Mine is from the soul and the heart is what I create my fanfiction. It comes with some things of like Harry Potter himself, of the darkness that he been through. With me, mine is like just like him, but deeper because I go through a lot of stuff during my childhood. So I put myself into my OC character, because that's who she is and that's who I am. Yes, she looks like a female version of James Potter, but she doesn't act like her father, literally, because Severus Snape had raised her. So she's like more of a mini Lily in Hogwarts. So yeah, she will non-stop defend her godfather every step in the way. She's more loyal to her godfather than she is loyal to Dumbledore, for her own main reason. So she will have some issues with her brother trusting Dumbledore, as a sibling kind of stuff going on. But that's all I'm gonna say, because my OC character had recently been attacked by people and stolen from me twice. Before by Lady Fanell one time. So yeah. And it was also used against me, and those people had gotten away with claiming my OC character as their own, which had affected me so much, which sometimes is emotional for me when I talk about it, because that's how much my OC character, Julian St. Potter, means to me. I don't create it out of nothing, and I was a late Potterhead. Like, I was born September 6th, 1999. I had started watching Harry Potter when I was 13 years old. And since then, I had nonstop watched it and lived watching Harry Potter. I had become a Potterhead at a very late age, 13 years old. I started also watching a movie. I wasn't really much of a person that reads the full chapter of books, but then I also started reading the books when I was around that same age, to the point I was 14 years old. So that's how I became a fully on Potterhead. And during that same day, at that age, I had did my first sorting, and I was sorted into Gryffindor. And since then, I am a Gryffindor through and through. So I was like that all the time, all the way until my teenager. I had nonstop watched it, my favorite Snape cosplayers live streams, from Musically Timing all the way to when Musically changed its platform to TikTok. So, and I don't really want to say much about my OC character because she had recently got attacked and used against me. And those people had claimed my OC character as their own, and I don't even want to talk about that much because it's a bit of an emotional subject. And my OC character means a lot to me because it's my inner child and it's how I cope with a lot of things, like when I'm sad, when I'm upset, when I'm stressed, or when I'm depressed. I literally go write my fan fiction. I watch Harry Potter. I write down some of the fan fiction ideas that I had and stuff, you know, based it on the movies, etc. And that's how much Julian C. Potter means to me. Is one of the ways of how I cope. And whenever I do that, it makes me happy back again. But the fact that what had recently happened, my OC character got used against me, and somebody had claimed it as their own. I think that was Lady Fanell, because she had histories of doing something similar like that before. And that is not the right thing to do, because if you guys could remember Juliana, it rhymes and it's like rhymes or similar as in Julie. So yeah, and I really just want my account back to be normal, peace and happiness. I could just go back into a way of how I create my fan fiction without having people discredit me on my own platform that I had since I was 16 years old. That's all I want for my birthday coming up in 4 days. I want to be happy for once on this channel. I want to feel safe on my own platform. I want people that are older than me to just leave me be and stop trying to gatekeep my way of creating my fanfiction. Because I don't use ChatGPT for everything. I only use it to improve my way of how I create my fanfiction so my story can make sense. Because as you guys can tell, some of my videos is I start my fanfiction by writing. I didn't even know that app had existed until I was like 24 years old, I think, by the people that I used to be friends with, until they start being dishonest, you know, and doing their foolishness next as well, which had also cost me my life in August, because they, along with Lady Fanell's people, was being too much, to the point where I couldn't really handle that anymore. I had felt that the only way they can get what they want, since they erased me from my fanfiction and how I create my fanfiction. They literally had erased me when they had stolen my OC character, which had affected me literally, emotionally too, as well. And that was my way of coping. And when they had did that, was like saying that I should erase myself from existence that time, which that's how it feel like to me. And that's had caused me to do that second attempt, because I was giving them what they wanted, because that's how I felt. They don't want me to be existed. And I just really want to go back to my fanfiction, the way that I create and how I cope due to mental health. That's all I am asking for, and that's all I want. I don't want people to non-stop comment on every single of my videos, or when I post saying that I'm gonna still use ChatGPT. People do unnecessary long paragraph in my comment section saying that, like, I don't know what ChatGPT is. Like, I do know what that is. I only use it to improve my writings, not for everything else. I don't think I use it for just to bring out my images out into life. That's the only thing I use it for. No, I do not make money off of it, and I never will. It's only the thing I use as a creativity tool. Because I love seeing every time I directed what I want it to create for me, it creates that image for me, which I had loved. Because my OC character has her mom's magic ability. She has Lily's flower magic ability, where flowers grow out her hand. You know, her brother doesn't really have that, but she does. You know, and her Patronus is a doe. So, that's all I'm gonna say. And I'm still hurt by the fact that someone, which I already know who, had literally used my OC character against me and stole that OC character that I created to a very dark moment in my teenager life. It was one of my happy places, which I love to do. And the fact people have some kind of ice cold heart in doing something like that to me. And to the point they being so obsessed over on my channel, where they had cost me my life. And it really affected me to the point where I literally don't feel safe on this platform, on my channel that I had since I was 16 years old, because of that. And Lady Fanell really needs to learn to stop hating on somebody, because I used to be one of her followers and her supporters on her account one time, until she had literally, yeah, I am, and I'm not really doing better. I'm getting there. I'm still trying to recover and fully heal, and I do appreciate you guys for being there for me during that dark moment. I was in a very dark moment of my lifetime, and I literally can't. When Mike got drawn out like that, it had became a bit too much with the hate, and I am focusing on my mental health. I just want to share my story with you guys, even though it's kind of hard sometimes for me, because it was a very dramatic experience of what had happened. And I hope you guys understand this is the reason why I am on here at this moment. So yes, I am taking a break from it. But I do appreciate all the support and kindness comments that I get from you guys. And I do appreciate that you guys were there during that dark moment. You know, I had felt like I was alone that time, that people were against me. It's like people think when I'm trying to stand up for myself, I start feeling like I might definitely be delusional and this and that and etc. But literally, it was all too much in August, and my birthday's in 4 days. So I want this day to be, happy for me. So yeah, I'm still trying to learn that. By the way, and I don't really, for example, there's a lot of people that had always said that to me, but my thing is they don't really show it. And now I'm at the point for people, if they saying that they care about me, I rather for them to see it, because there are people out there that one time had acted as they did care about me, but it turns out that they literally had never did. And it had bothered me the most, because I see some people who are older than me as family members, not as whatchamacallit, as any love interest, because I am not that kind of crazy person, you know. And I'm still trying to do better. I'm still taking breaks. I'm just trying to give my Gryffindor house courage of telling you guys my story, even though it's something that caused my hands to shake. Because again, that it was it was a traumatic experience for me, for what had happened. And I do appreciate you guys being there for me that time. But so you know, the person who had caused it to draw out was the person who had caused the drama by telling me that I'm harassed, by having her husband coming after me. And yes, she has history of having her husband coming after people. And that person is the one that I one time trusted and care about deeply, and saw as a family member. So yeah, she also has history of having her husband coming after people. I'm not gonna hide that from you guys. And yes, they're the one who had harassed me, or accused me of being harassed, or accused me of the person of being the whatchamacallit. But they are literally 6 years older than I am. And they're the one that I called you know, even though they're the one that kind of caused the drama in the first place to, escalate to that point in August. Along with Evara's people, not Evara's people, I mean Lady Fanell's people as well. Because Lady Fanell has histories of having her minions coming after me, and being overly obsessive over me. So, and during that day on August had became very too much for me, to the point where I couldn't handle the hates, because people were hating me on my YouTube channel every time I say my side of the story, the full story about what had went on. That same person, Random Fandom 67, aka SBN Queen, had literally have my videos reported. I had put a lot of story of what she had did to me. The person who was like 19 years older than I am, I had no idea that the fanfiction that I created, the name was gonna be similar. Like, how can a 24-year-old ever copy somebody that they don't even know their OC character was this or had the same name as that person, who's old enough to be their parent? to say the least. And the fact that they said I intentionally copied that person's OC character, no. It was an accident, and I never tend to do that on purpose, because I literally didn't even know that character's name was Marie. Because that person never talked about that character. Only thing she talked about was Skyrim, Skyrim this, Skyrim that, Skyrim this. Her character on her avatar on Skyrim. Like, literally. I never know that Dean Winchester's child was Marie. Because I created an OC character as a newcomer to Supernatural when I had first watched the anime. That came to me first, which I know what comes to anime, I get interested in it. And when I started watching the anime part of the Supernatural, I got inspired by that part, and I did some research. Then I found out that Dean and Sam has a call it a half brother. I was like in my head, why not make them have a half sister who's like 6 years old? And I had only reason why I have gotten the last name of Winchester in the first place was due to the character chat AI app is what I have on my phone that I'm always on. That's how I got the last name with Winchester on it, because people create fanfiction characters on that app to where people can talk to their fictional characters that they love so much, their comfort characters and stuff like that. That's what I do. That's what I'm always on. So that's how I got the last name with Winchester on there. I don't only put into details because I'm not a person who want to tell my fanfiction out there like that. But this is a really true story because I really literally have the app on my phone still. And that's how I got the Winchester thing. So, because I would never in my life steal somebody's character. So, and if people are going to accuse me of that, is not true, because I literally got the last name from the character LA chat, the character AI chat thing that I have on my phone. That every single time you can talk to your favorite comfort characters on that app. Yes, I know it's not real. Literally, I am not stupid. But I love using it, and that's how I got the idea of creating a half-sister for Adam. Not half-sister for Adam, but a little sister for Adam. You know. And she's the half-sister of whatchamacallit. But due to that, and the character that I had created as Adam's little sister, I had no idea that the image was going to be similar to the other person's character. That's Dean's child. So I had changed everything in my end to make sure it doesn't be similar to that person who's 19 years older than I am. You know, after her friend had literally attacked me. They had literally full on attacked me. They never talked nicely. They, in the comment sections, accused me of copying someone. And I nicely spoken to them saying, who told you I was copying them? They were not honest. They were dishonest. They don't tell me who. They only say that they saw something similar to it, and etc. And I told them that I honestly wasn't copying. Like, I did not know. I used ChatGPT in making my fanfiction. Like, the only thing I meant by making my fanfiction is the image I used to create. I don't use ChatGPT to write my fanfiction for me. So I literally just had told her that politely. and she continued knowing every single thing that I did. I told her, and she had fully on told me this, saying that, threatening me and to scare me out of creating my fan fiction, saying that I will get sued for having something similar. Having an image that's similar to someone else's, like, I will get sued for that, for fan fiction. And she pretended to be a publisher too, and had messaged me in a threatening kind of way, saying that I'm a published author and blah 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 blah. You get sued and stuff like that. If there's if it's similar, if it have any fanfiction that's similar to someone else's work and etc. and so on. I have things on my account that proved it, that they had tried to report it and have it erased on my TikTok. So yeah. And every time I try to share my story, that same person who only share half of what they had told their people, their followers. But I have all the full story on my stuff, and they had been using my username into their videos as a hashtag more than once lately. So I have people come attacking me whenever I share my voice. And the fact that they had attacked me for using ChatGPT, but what they're using themselves is also ChatGPT as well. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. And the fact that every time I want to create my fanfiction, create whole warming images of my OC character with Severus Snape, they continue attacking me or having their people doing their job for them by discrediting my way of creating my fanfiction that I love, because my fanfiction is only about Severus Snape raising his goddaughter. My OC character getting reunited with her big brother on his 12th birthday is what my fanfiction is all about. Creating a new fan family. You know, and that's my OC character's part when she looks in the mirror of the race. When she sees in the mirror of the race and stuff like that, her godfather being happy. She's with her brother, who is just a normal kid alongside her. You know, it would be like a whole big family right there, with her godfather being happy as well. It's like opposite than her brother, because all Harry saw was himself with his parent. My character would see more than that, because she would see her godfather being happy and not grumpy, not cold-hearted. You know, he would be beside her. You know, Harry would be beside him, etc., and their parents probably still be alive. That's how she would see. It would be like a normal kind of thing, and thing that my character wanted. You know, like a normal kind of family. You know what I mean. So that's all I gotta say. And I don't expect anybody to hate on anybody else when I'm just telling you that. I just want to share my story. And what I really want on this channel is to have my account back in peace. Like, you know, like the people that I one time met never existed. That's what I want my channel to literally come back to for my birthday this year. I want to be able to create my fan fiction and not have people commented on it and describe my way of how I create my fan fiction. That's what I want, and that's what I wish for. I am not gonna stay long on here. It's gonna be quick. I just want to show you guys my story, and at this moment now, since doing this brings a lot of drama experience for me, I'll be taking some more break off of this platform. So, again, thank you guys for always being there for me and always supporting me, and during the darkness moment of my life. I truly appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day. Literally. And again, I mean what I say. Thank you for allowing me to share the story as well. I just want these people, them who should know better, just to leave me alone. So, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I hope your day flows full with magic. And also, again, happy back to Hogwarts. I'll be taking a break again from this platform. And I hope you know that my story was a true story and it wasn't false. I just need Lady Fanell and her minions to leave me alone. That also goes for Evara's people, them too. Respectfully. That's all I ask for. So that means every single time I want to post my creativity, I don't want no one discrediting my rights of creating my fan fiction that's heartwarming. Because I created my OC character out of the darkness time of my life. And it's one of my happy places. And the fact that my comfort, that it was my coping skill, so it got stolen from me, used against me. I don't need that happening again. And I just want this platform to be back normal. As someone who's been a Potterhead, is how I do my hyper focus, which there's a lot of stuff I learned about myself I didn't even know. Harry Potter is one of my hyper focus kind of stuff. So that's the reason why I talked about it so much. That's how people talk about supernatural non-stop, but that's how they hyper focus. So yeah. And my OC character and Harry Potter is my OC comfort kind of thing as well. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. So thank you for giving me the chance to share my story. I know it's not perfect, but I tell you before, it's kind of dramatic for me, and I want to retake a break from this platform again to re-heal everything. Bye. I love you guys.